Welcome along to EXFL Tier 2 Season 11 for round 18 out of 20. It's the Mexican Grand Prix. 3 races to go then, as it's really sped by. But we're here in Mexico City then, in an overcast looking qualifying session. Not as many as usual. There's a few on vacation and whatnot, or stuff like that. But the final 2 races after today should be back to business as usual. Just clearing that, and right, we're good to go. So yeah, still expecting one more to join of Bluey. Yeah, he says he's coming. Okay. Right. So, here's the plan for today and the final couple races. There we go, Bluey's in. Okay, great. Right, 16 minutes left on the clock then. Don't know if it's going to get any sunnier or it might even rain later on in quali. We don't know about the race yet either. But here's how things stand. After last week's United States Grand Prix that saw Adam versus Kobe, the championship protagonists, fight it out for victory. Yeah, and qualifying, to be fair. It ended up with Kobe making one crucial mistake in both quali and the race that cost him pole and the win, and he had to take second in both of them, where Adam converted pole into victory with the invalidation and the 3-second time penalty. So, heading in, the 22-point gap Adam had over Kobe went up to 29 instead of down to 15. So, Kobe, right here in the Williams, trails Adam by 29 points with 3 races to go. But here's the catch. Adam is not racing tonight. So Kobe knows exactly what he needs to do. No mistakes, flawless driving, and he can win today, and he can get the gap down to 4 points with 2 to go. Abu Dhabi and then Brazil. Kobe then with a 15.2 to set the times alive, and let's get this qualifying underway, because he will definitely want to be P1 on lap 36 and crossing the checkered flag first. Square draft then, a 10th.5 behind after a few races where he's, well, since Netherlands, where he looked so dominant, a few races of struggle. But that is a pretty solid first banker for the McLaren. As Matt, at 1.3 down, Yannick goes just in front, a second off at the moment. We've got Birdie Saints, a rising star in EXFL Tier 2, consistent top 5s, not even that, top 4 finishers since, Singapore, I believe. But yeah, he's getting ever closer and closer. Qualifying is still something he needs to work on a little as he crosses the line, goes P4. 1.1 seconds down. It's his race pace that's truly shown his skills. Adam, Kobe, Finn and Birdie, they have been the top 4 drivers since Singapore, it would seem. They've finished in those top 4 positions practically in every race since. I believe so anyway. That even so much as Kobe, Adam and Finn equaled the record for most common podium we've ever had of 4. And 3 of them have come in the last 3 races, which is crazy to see. Grush goes P3, but that is a big margin between our top 2 at the moment. Wait for Bluey to also do a lap. Finn should definitely be popping his Alpine in the mix as he crosses the line. He goes P3, so just lacking a few tenths. We'll see what Dello can do. Dello, who is in his, 34th race now today. Still no podium. His career best of P5 in a race and P4 or 3 in qualifying. I think that's what he got last week. Maybe today, who knows? And Nathan, everyone's going to get points bar one person at this rate. It's just one of those races in the season where it's a bit of a 3-point grab, considering every other race has been anywhere from, I don't know, 12 to 19. Actually, this is the first time this season it's gone below 12. But Mexico, I remember, I think we only had like 9 a few seasons ago. Season 9 as well. But since then it's been decent, but oh well. 1/3 of quali already done then. Kobe and Square Giraffe still in the pit lane. And I talk about the drivers. Adam, 29 points ahead of Kobe. That will, for Adam's sake, at best stay at 29 points. I'm sure he is watching. Adam, hello. Hope to see you back for the final 2 races. And it will be obviously you going up against the Williams driver for this World Championship. And for Kobe's sake, he'll be hoping to get that 29-point gap down to 4. If Square Giraffe wins and Kobe's second, then it will go to 11, and then 14 and 17 and so on with 2 to go. But yeah, at the moment, Kobe's doing everything right, and looks like it is getting a bit sunnier around the Mexico City circuit. Matt improved to P4 there, so that's a good shout from him. But yeah, that is the drivers, how things stack up. But in terms of constructors, Williams go into today probably definitely going to win the Constructors' Championship, as we only have one Williams and one Mercedes driver. Williams just have to make sure they don't get outscored by 15 points by Mercedes, and they are the Tier 2 Season 11 Constructors' Champions, and Williams as a first in general, a first-time Constructors' Champion. But things have been a bit more simplistic now, with only there being one Williams and one Mercedes, as Grush goes back up to P4. It's kind of simple. If Kobe gets 5th or higher, then that's enough for Williams. But they're going to win it anyway, let's be honest. Square Giraffe then begins his second run as Kobe's just making his way through the final sector. Diving into turn 1 goes the McLaren over the bumps. He's got to find exactly a 10th to get provisional pole as he wiggles his way out of turn 3. Tricky little section to nail with how much curb you want to take, because he's got the 2 Alpines behind him. He's found nearly a 10th in the first sector with a 28.1, making his way through the slowest part of the track. Very technical. Double right-hander. Car's getting out his way. Now making his way through the very fast and flowing, very unrealistic turns 8, 9, especially 10 and 11. Would not be anywhere near as quick in real life. Activates DRS, probably the most useless DRS zone on the entire calendar. He's up by nearly 2.5 tenths. He's got the time he needs at the moment through the stadium section then, where he needs all the downforce possible. And this has been a very neat and tidy lap from Square Giraffe. He's had some struggles in the past few races since Netherlands, but he crosses the line in Mexico, and now he is the man to beat for pole position. A 15.0, 2 tenths to Kobe, who's gone off. He's got wing damage, and he's spun. He's missing his left and right end plate. So Kobe, big mistake on his second run there, and he's going to have to go again. He found about 0.5 tenth in the first sector. Would he have found another 0.5 tenth? Probably. But we're going to have to find that out at the end of qualifying now, unless he goes out really early again. Because as soon as those yellows clear, I still think we have about, what, 9 minutes? You can get, yeah, 9, well, 8.5. You could probably get 2 runs in. Maybe you can just go out on that same set of softs. But that is really going to upset his chances a little. What about Finn then? Up by a couple hundredths, but he's invalidated. Dello sits nice in 4th. Very close between those 3. Yannick 7th, Birdie 8th. Big opportunity here for Birdie to have a good qualifying, because he's up by 0.5 second, and this could be an Alpine second row. Maybe even if he finds enough time, he could be ahead of his teammate. Then his race pace from a really high position anyway could look interesting. Finn right in front of him might give him a slight slipstream, but Birdie will cross the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 15.7 to put himself on the second row. Birdie, who I believe's best qualifying is 3rd, and that was in Belgium before he spun on the opening lap. So, yeah, not a million miles, only 0.5 tenth off Finn. who I'm sure will be going again as he makes his way through the first few corners. Finishes the first set to split. Has found a little bit more time. But obviously this is a second run on those sets of softs. Kobe immediately out there again. And unfortunately Finn has invalidated, so he'll be heading into the pit lane with 6.5 minutes to go. Just double checking something. Ah, that's what I forgot to do. There we go. Right. Full focus then. Here comes Kobe to start his penultimate lap, you'd assume. Looks like he probably kept the same tyres on his second run where he made that mistake. So, into the first few corners comes one of the championship protagonists, the only championship protagonist racing today. Everyone's got a lap time on the board, bar Nathan at the moment who's doing his out lap. Kobe finishes the first set to split, and he's down by 0.5 tenth. 27.7? What? Oh. Okay, well, I think that clearly shows Kobe's got the straight line speed and Square Giraffe has the downforce. If it's that big of a gap in Sector 1, unless it's just all battery related. So Kobe this time round makes his way through the long sweeping left-right-handers with a full wing intact. Will finish the middle set to split, has found a 10th, but he needs to push in these final few corners where he doesn't have the downforce to find one more 10th. On Square Giraffe to snatch back provisional pole. 5 minutes left on the clock, one corner left for Kobe. And is it enough? No, he's pulling into the pit lane. But he knows some time is there. Whether it's all there, that's a bit of a bigger question. Square Giraffe is out there with 4 and a bit minutes to go, which is quite early. So is Finn. Dello goes to P3 now. 0.5 tenth clear of Finn. Alright, what about the rest? Matt just beginning a lap. Cookster into the pit lane. In his second Grand Prix. Scored points. Well, a point of P10 last week in Texas. To add to that long list of debutants who have scored on debut. Nathan in the RB. His teammate Yannick currently 9th. Nathan, who is probably predicted to finish 10th, along with Bluey in 11th. He'll cross the line, and he does go 10th. Just a few tenths ahead of Bluey. So, Square Giraffe. First sector split then. Found even more time. Not quite into the 27s. Comfortably like Kobe is, but this is where Square Giraffe has looked very impressive. And could he be the key, or will Dello, Finn, or even Birdie be the key to stopping Kobe from gaining a full 25 points on Adam? It's going to be very interesting. I'd say any one of the top 5 are in this fight. Even though qualifying gaps might be bigger, the race gaps are always smaller. So Square Giraffe finishes the middle set to split. Still up, and he could improve by quite a couple tenths here. And we should be seeing our first 1 minute 14 lap time across the line then for Square Giraffe. It's a 1 minute 14.958. He does find nearly a tenth and a half, and he goes even quicker. And that is the benchmark that Kobe needs to aim for. He needs to deliver a really good lap. However, it is Mexico, and starting on pole isn't always the best place to be. I know slipstream is very faint on this game, but still, if you start second, you might have a little bit of a run. So it's not the end of the world if you don't get pole here. Finn was up by, I think, nearly 4 tenths, but he's invalidated. Didn't quite see where that was. You can clearly see his discomfort there after he's destroyed the polystyrene board. Grush down by a couple tenths. That's Bluey going ahead of Nathan. And that's Grush crossing the line. With 2.5 minutes left on the clock. So right on board with the Red Bull down into turn 1. Let's see. He would need to find, 4 tenths of improvement to see himself any higher than where he is currently. Doesn't actually look like he's pushing that much. No. It doesn't sound like it either. Bluey will obviously be heading into the pit lane. Square Giraffe will be doing the same. I believe that is him done with qualifying. Yeah, with 2 minutes left, I really doubt he's going to be able to get in and get out. Kobe's out there, though. And he knows this is the lap that's going to count. It looks like he should be safe to still hang on to second, but I wouldn't discount Finn. Or maybe even Dello. Finn was up by like 4 tenths, which actually would get him ahead of Kobe. So what does Kobe do? Does he play it safe to hang on to second? Does he go all out to get pole position? I think he knows the answer. So he'll come around the final corner, put the battery on, turn the DRS in the coming few seconds. And he knows this is the lap that's going to do it for him. Considering this is the part of the track where he looks the most mighty with the low downforce. He goes into the first sector split about 3 tenths clear of Square Giraffe. It's the rest of the lap he needs to nail. So first sector split looking very nice. Slight slide on the exit. DRS open. Finishes the first sector. And it's going to be a slight 1/4 of a tenth down on his time. Yannick left the session. Had to quickly invite him. So yeah, Kobe slightly down in the first sector, but that's where he's been gaining all the time. It's this part of the track he really needs to get his elbows out. And he should be clear of any traffic. Finishes the middle sector split. He's up by just over 1.5 tenths, but he needs practically double that time to beat Square Giraffe's 14.9. He's got to give it absolutely everything into these final few corners. It looks good. But will the time reflect it? Round the final corner, putting the power down. Here comes Kobe across the line. 49, time to beat. He misses out by just over 1 tenth. He gave it everything, but it's not quite enough. Square Giraffe, at the moment, it looks like it's going to be pole position for the McLaren. Now we see who's going to get third. Dello, Finn, Birdie. The fight is on. Birdie, 10th down in the first sector and exiting turn 6. That did not look the most healthiest of exits. Grush is P6, Yannick 9th because he left. Bluey will be 10th, Nathan 11th. Cookster crosses the line. He's P8 and that's it. Finn will be 4th at best. And Birdie will be 5th because he's invalidated. So, Dello equals his best career start of P3. Unless he can find a monster half a second, that's probably where he'll end up. But the Alpines struggling a little in quali, but they've had a good result nonetheless of 4th and 5th. And Dello continues to push. He's the last one out there, really. He's up by 1 tenth and a bit, which will just solidify his 3rd place even more. And he'll come around the final corner. You can tell he's really giving it everything here. And he crosses the line, and he improves by just over 1.5 tenths to get within half a second of the pole time. Square Giraffe is on pole for the 2nd time then. Netherlands, and then a month or so later, Mexico. Yeah, those top 3 teams look a bit familiar. So if it was to finish like that, Adam would lead the standings by 11 points heading into the final 2 rounds. But this is Mexico. Anything can happen. That run down to turn 1, and anything can happen in the 36 laps that follow. Brighter skies for the race. So it should be a dry race. Should be a 1-stop. medium hard, hard medium. But there might be those who offer for the 2. It might do them a bit more justice than other tracks. Just seems like races that have 36 laps are the tracks Square Giraffe seems to do well on. Netherlands today. That means it'll do well in Brazil in a fortnight's time. Penalties will also be a big key. Warnings and whatnot. Mainly around the middle sector. So that could also open up the doors and close some for others. Everyone on mediums at the moment. Right, formation lap time begins. Interesting. The Alpine's doing something different. So, Finn starting on the hards, Birdie starting on the softs. So he's going to hope to make his way up through the field really quickly. Finn, probably the opposite. He's going to have to hope he hangs on to 4th or probably 5th as best as he can. I can see the top 5 pulling away, to be fair. Not the worst strategy from either of them. Birdie could be going for the 2 stop, soft, medium, medium. Although the hard does seem like a good race tyre. So Finn could come into play later on. And Alpine could control this race a little. Dello, going to be a bit vulnerable to those behind. I don't know if he can make any impact on the top 2. Kobe, I guess for his sake, overtake Square Giraffe at turn 1. Don't look back. But Square Giraffe does seem like he has the pace as well. But Kobe has the straight line speed, don't forget, over Square Giraffe. So that could come in handy on the run down to turn 1. The longest run down to turn 1 on the entire calendar. So it's going to be very interesting to see. It's like I'm watching Tier 1. Just waiting for Nathan at the back. Yannick's still not back. He's not even online. Uh-oh. Just pressed on a random button there. Hopefully everything is all good. Right, hopefully Yannick joins later. But anyway, the 2 Alpines have failed their grid slot, which isn't ideal, as has Matt. Top 3 look good though. Kobe straight in, facing straight. Same with Square Giraffe. We'll wait for the final couple to slot into their grid slot. And we will get the Tier 2 Season 11 Mexican Grand Prix underway. 3 rounds to go then. Williams can become Constructors' Champions today. But the Williams driver of Kobe will be hoping the Drivers' Championship looks a lot better after 36 laps. Lights out, and away we go. Looks like Kobe has got a good start, and he will take the lead ahead of Square Giraffe on the dive down to turn 1. So it's Kobe ahead of Square Giraffe, then the Ferrari, then the Alpine of Birdie Saints on the soft compound tyres. Into turn 1, then Kobe leads. Dello to the inside, into P2 ahead of the McLaren as Birdie fights away round the outside of Square Giraffe, who's had a horrible start, down to P4. Finn drops down to 6, and now he's going to drop all the way down to the back on the hard compound tyres. So it's Kobe from Dello. Birdie up to 3rd then, ahead of Square Giraffe. Bit of a gap already to Matt and Cookster to the inside. Already up to P5, fighting away with Matt. As Nathan's up to 7th, fighting away with Bluey. As Matt has the inside line to hold on to 5th. Cookster trying to hang it round the outside. Slightly there for the taking on the inside now. The Red Bull versus the Mercedes, wheel to wheel, and Matt turns in slightly, which makes Cookster lose the car, which allows Nathan and Bluey ahead. And Matt probably should have left a little bit more room as that's dropped Cookster down to 9th. Grush, his teammate, now ahead of him. As the 2 Red Bulls looking quite close. Yannick still not in. Finn's got a job to do to close back in. Kobe, that was the dream start for him as the 2 Red Bulls do swap again with Cookster ahead now. Kobe, 1.5 seconds then ahead of Dello. Birdie right behind him, using those softs to good effect. And Square Giraffe, it was a very poor getaway from the McLaren. And yeah, Matt already 2 seconds behind, under pressure from Nathan now. Bluey up to 7th then with the 2 Red Bulls. Yannick a bit on his own, and Finn, a lot of work to do. So into turn 1, the 2 Red Bulls swapping once again. And Matt just staying ahead of Nathan. As Cookster still on the inside of Grush, hanging it around the outside. Now has to back off a little. Right, biggest gainer at the moment is Nathan from last up to 6th. He does know how to do a good start, to be fair. But yeah, besides Finn, biggest loser at the moment, Grush and Square Giraffe. He just didn't really go anywhere off the start. Kobe got him in the first 100 metres. And now he's struggling to even stick with Birdie and Dello. Birdie, who I'm sure will want to clear Dello soon with those soft compound tyres and make the most of it. There's a bit of a big podium here for any of these three. Bluey already with the first time penalty of the race, and we're not even completed lap 2 yet. Dello's pace looks decent, to be fair. He's kept it constant to Kobe. And this is exactly what Kobe would have wanted. Dello's got a yellow light. And he's the only one, I think, of the pack to do that. Finn ahead of Yannick's ghosted car. He'll probably get disqualified if he doesn't rejoin. But we start lap 3 then. Birdie, 80%. Dello, 50%. And I'm sure when he gets the DRS, he will be a lot closer into turn 1. So here comes Birdie Sainz then on Dello. He's gaining, and I'm sure he'll go for the move to the inside on the Ferrari. Wheel-to-wheel stuff. Birdie into P2. Dello hangs it around the outside, though. The Ferrari and Alpine still fighting away. Birdie gives him so much room that Dello even cuts the corner a little bit to his own admission, as Square Giraffe behind them loses the car, but Birdie got the move done very nicely. And Dello will now have to stick behind with barely any battery to his name. They really gave it absolutely everything into turn 1 there, but Birdie came out on top. 2 seconds now to the leader. Can he still use what's left in those softs? How long will they last? And Square Giraffe's still with these guys. Matt a bit on his own now as that's Bluey coming under pressure from those behind. Cookster's already ahead. Looks like he has some good pace. Finn's already caught this 3-car train of Grush and Bluey. Bluey looking very struggling on the exit there, and that makes Grush avoid him. And Finn, to be fair. Is Finn going to pull off a little in and out as he's ahead of Bluey now? And that makes Grush go deep, and Finn gets the move, putting them under pressure. That allows Bluey back in front of Grush too. So that Birdie's already got a second over Dello, but he still has DRS. And Birdie 1.4 now behind Kobe. So that's saved Dello a little bit from Square Giraffe. But I mean, look at Square. 200 mile an hour, 209 mile an hour, 10 mile an hour from Dello. As much as Dello was probably using battery and Square Giraffe wasn't. That's allowing Dello to still stick with Birdie, who's losing time in the first sector to Kobe. So I believe Birdie may also be running a slightly higher downforce setup. As here comes Dello, having a little look to the inside of Birdie, who parks it perfectly fine on the apexes. And he'll hold his line. It's going to be a bit of a boring race for Matt at this rate. But, I mean, a P5, that would be a career best. Nathan, under pressure. I still see Finn finishing like 5th or 4th here, to be honest. Especially on those hards. He'll definitely gain some ground soon. Looks a bit slow out of the exit there, though. But he's getting on with it. Grush back in front of Bluey now. And now Matt has a penalty. Birdie's lost quite a bit of time to Kobe this lap. Are the softs already wearing out after only 4 laps? And I'm sure we'll see a bit of an undercut from Birdie here. But would it even be this early? Can't be. That's Bluey struggling to fight a ghost car. And now Dello's giving it everything again. Birdie not blasting, but Dello wants P2 back, and he's going for it. And Square Giraffe is also gaining on Birdie. Will he go to the inside? Looks like he's going for an attempt, and they're going wheel to wheel into turn 1. Birdie still ahead to the inside and covers off the attack from Square Giraffe. But he doesn't have DRS once again, but Square Giraffe does. So he's going to blast, and he's going to retake P3. So Birdie goes from 2nd to 4th in the space of 3 corners. And while all these squabbles allowing Kobe to get further and further away, he is blasting his battery, which is showing he's pushing. Birdie saving a lot of his battery too. Finn, oh my god, 3 wide nearly. With all these guys, Cookster tried to switch back on both of them. As Finn getting involved with Nathan. That was dicey. It's a 4-car train now. So Finn all over the back of the RB. He'll use DRS, but he won't use his battery. He'll stay behind for now. And yeah, that was very on the nose. These two wheel to wheel, and then Cookster tried to switch back. Didn't exactly work. Can't really even go... Well, you can go side by side, but not 3 wide at that corner. So, Square Giraffe. Oh my god, another penalty for Cookster. Square Giraffe has been biding his time. And Dello has no battery. And this might allow him to get back up into P2. Dello goes a little defensive. It works. And he stays in P2 for now. But there's another DRS zone coming up. And not the greatest exit from Square Giraffe there as we look into turn 1. That is Finn now ahead of Nathan. So he's got through the majority of the pack. And Square Giraffe doesn't quite get Dello this time round. Yellow for Cookster. Oh, he's not having a great race, is he? So he's spun. He's retired. He decided to give up, I guess. And that's Groosh and Nathan. Wait, what? Well, Nathan's struggling clearly as he's dropped behind Groosh. So yeah, Yannick will probably get disqualified at the moment because he's still not online. Nope. It's unfortunate. But yeah, Square Giraffe, who's had a win, let alone a podium. Birdie, who's had quite a few podiums now. Dello, who's never been on the podium in EXFL Tier 2. Kind of like a Hamilton situation now with him being in Ferrari. But yeah, his 34th race in EXFL Tier 2 starts lap 7. And at the moment, he's currently running P2 as Birdie! 10-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. I didn't even notice he went into the pits, but now he's got a 10-second time penalty that he's going to have to serve on his second stop because he's definitely doing a 2-stop as Dello still hangs on to P2 ahead of Square Giraffe. But now he's under pressure on the exit. Square Giraffe blasting. Dello with nothing there, but he's getting his elbows out with the defence. Square Giraffe to the inside, side by side between the Ferrari and the McLaren. Slight lock of wheels from Square Giraffe as Dello forces Square Giraffe off the track there. And he stays ahead. Wonder what will be said about that. Kind of looked like Square Giraffe deserved the room there, but Dello thought not. So, where does Birdie come out? He comes out in 9th on the mediums. He'll definitely have to pit again, and he'll have to serve that 10-second time penalty. That's going to be hugely detrimental. Whoa! Square Giraffe gets ahead of Dello. Out of nowhere there. Must have blasted a lot of battery or caught Dello napping. Either way, he's absolutely passed him in a flash there. Kobe, 5 seconds now nearly ahead. So, as we see Birdie get past Yannick's AI there. A second already with Dello. And he's got no battery, but he has DRS. And considering Square Giraffe has high wings, look how much Dello's gained back on him. And Finn has already closed up to Matt. Birdie ahead of Nathan now. And he has DRS for good measure. Good on him. Dello probably not close enough this time round. Nope. What about Finn? He wasn't even within a second of the detection, yet he's right behind Matt. That's crazy. Matt goes defensive to the inside. Finn stays behind for now. So yeah, Birdie pitted lap, what, 6? That means he has to do 15-15 with the 2 mediums he probably has. So around lap 21 he'll pit. Currently, what, 23.3 off the lead. Dello's still sticking with at the moment. Might quickly mention Yannick, what's happened to him. So into the pit lane comes Dello. Cookster retired because he's got that glitch where you get warnings, but the game doesn't tell you about the warnings. So that's why, unfortunately. I mean, he spun and then gave up, so may have been 2 different stories there. But yeah, that's a bit unfortunate as we see Finn overtaking Matt, then Birdie, fastest lap of the race, and Dello's into the pit lane. And there's already Birdie clear of Dello in the background. So he's got quite a nice little undercut. Only 9 laps on the mediums for Dello, and he's pitted onto the hards. So is Dello also doing a 2-stop? Medium, hard, medium? Unless he can make hards last 27 laps. Yes, Birdie already 6 seconds clear of Dello. Bluey, 3-second time penalty. Birdie all over the back of Groosh. He's caught him at a pretty annoying place on the track, to be fair. So unless he can get the run on the exit here. Yep, go wide. Get the run. Power on. To the inside. Oh, lovely stuff from Birdie. And Grush backs out. That was perfect. And yeah, Finn already pulling away. Finn should also be... The Alpine should be the fastest cars on track now. Because those hards should definitely be rubbering in more than the mediums. Kobe's in. So this should be a two-stop race. Square Giraffe follows him in. That was a bollard or something that got destroyed. They make sure not to speed. So yeah, Square Giraffe will put the hard compound tyres on. Kobe will also put the hard compound tyres on. It's going to be very close to see where Kobe comes out in relation to Birdie. I have a high feeling that Birdie's now going to be ahead of him. Yep, there's Birdie. There's Kobe. So by pitting earlier, starting on those softs, Birdie is now ahead of Kobe. But he has a 10-second time penalty. And we know how frisky it got a little last week with Kobe trying to overtake Birdie. At this time round, Kobe doesn't actually have to worry too much. I mean, he's got Square Giraffe, who's actually closed the gap a little under those stops. So it depends how quickly Kobe overtakes these guys. And he's on the back of Grush. Now he's ahead of Grush. So he gets on down the road. After Birdie, who's closing up to Matt. Finn in the lead now. Okay, now I'm going to quickly message Yannick. So Birdie already caught up to Matt now. Within a second, he should be clear of him after the straight. Oh my god, he's right behind him. Matt really struggling on those tyres. Might even want to pit. And oh no! Birdie! Matt, who was... Oh, and there's Grush as well. Matt, who was going... Oh, Grush also messed up his entry as well. That's reset him. Go, Grush, go. Oh my god. Yeah, Matt, who was looking really struggling on those dying mediums. Obviously, Birdie was pushing him through the corners at that rate. And Matt wanted to... He moved right. He wanted to go into the pit lane. And Birdie was just right behind him. And practically just spun him. So that might also be looked into. Same with Delo's thing on Square Giraffe. But, I mean, Square Giraffe is beating Delo at the moment now. So it might not matter. Yeah, Yannick's just saying his Wi-Fi has issues, which is unfortunate. So, Alpine 1-2 then. Kobe closing up to Birdie. 1.5 seconds now. He's kept the gap constant behind to Square Giraffe. If anything, he looks a couple tenths quicker. As Square Giraffe is pulling away from Delo, who's struggling to keep within track limits there. I've just realised what Delo's number is. That's great. And for those who may have missed it, we'll try and find a camera angle that shows it. There we go. Yep, that's really fitting of the times. Kobe 1.4 then. This time next lap he might be within a second of Birdie. And this is a very different track to Texas. In terms of defence, especially along straights like these. Kobe giving absolutely everything. 3% compared to Birdie's 50. As we are a third of the way done in this race. Will Finn try the one stop? As it's kind of clear everyone behind is going to be on a two-stop. I don't see anyone taking their tyres right now to the end. Right, Kobe's within a second then. Or just about. Now he can save his battery, close up to Birdie, who I'm sure his mediums are going to start to feel the wear as well. I'd assume Birdie's going until around lap 21. And Kobe knows he can... play it safe here a little. Can't lose too much time with Square Giraffe and Delo behind. Square Giraffe actually looking a bit quicker now. Kobe knows he has the straight line speed, so he just has to be behind Birdie. Get him, but Birdie could be within a second of Finn soon, so this is going to get interesting. I said Alpine have got a lot of pieces to play. It really depends when Finn will pit. I honestly don't see Finn pitting for another like 8 or so laps. Both Alpines could pit within the span of laps at this rate. Kobe does not have DRS. He did not get it. And Square Giraffe is closing quite a bit here. And Kobe knows he doesn't. If he does get caught by Square Giraffe. He knows Birdie will serve as 10 anyway, and in a straight fight, Kobe should have Square Giraffe because of the straight line speed, but we'll see. If Square Giraffe pulls away in the middle part. I mean, Square Giraffe is also giving it everything, as you can tell. Birdie, who's within a second of Finn now, so that's going to help his chances of staying ahead of Kobe. Because if they all have to pit one more time, this is going on the basis that Finn is doing a one-stop, this is actually for track position. And the top 4, I have a feeling, are going to be really close to one another soon. Look at that Birdie, saving all his battery. Finn using a bit of his, and looks like the Alpines could be swapping soon. Birdie's going to have a full 100% battery here. 13 laps on those hards for Finn, and it looks like he's struggling. Look at the top 3, so close to each other, nose to tail. And it looks like we're going to have a new leader soon. Birdie with 100%, time to blast. And yeah, Kobe will do the same. He'll try and get Finn on the same straight. Here comes Birdie then. His teammate not really putting up at defence. Kobe follows him through. And will he try and get Birdie as well? 2 Alpines for the price of 1. No, Birdie goes defensive. To the right. Kobe hangs it round the outside. And Birdie runs him out of road. And plays the defence tactics once again. Now, Square Giraffe has to try and overtake Finn. Here comes Birdie. But here comes Birdie. Here comes Kobe, but Birdie has battery and DRS as well. So Kobe might just have to stay behind for one more lap. It's just patience and a waiting game. He knows, well, he should know that Square Giraffe is now going to have to try and overtake Finn as well. So, stay behind, save the battery. And that's what Birdie will certainly be doing. And we'll see if Kobe can get Birdie in the run to turn 1 this time round. See, top 4 within a second of one another now. Dello, unfortunately, just losing some ground, it seems. And the top 3, kind of the same as the last few races without Adam. Adam, he'll be watching this very closely if he is. Hoping the Alpines ruin Kobe's day slightly. But for Kobe, he's just got to get the exit, which hasn't actually been amazing. And Birdie doing everything he can as Finn's into the pit lane. 15 laps only on those hards. So maybe Finn is also doing a 2-stop. So, Kobe goes to the left. Birdie once again trying everything he can, but Kobe is ahead of the Alpine. Goes slightly deep. They both have same levels of battery, but Kobe now has the DRS to pull away, as it looks like Birdie's tyres are withering slightly. So like I said, Kota and Mexico, very different tracks, because Kobe's managed to get ahead much quicker than last week on Birdie. Birdie didn't exactly squeeze him up until the grass or off track on the straight this time, which is good. But yeah, Birdie did everything he could there. And yeah, Kobe knew what he needed to do. So he can get off down the road now. And Square Giraffe, well, he didn't have to even overtake Finn because Finn pitted onto mediums. 21 laps to go, so Finn might be doing hard, medium, medium, while those around him are doing medium, hard, medium. So it looks like everyone's doing a 2-stop. No one's opting for a 1. Kobe already over a second clear of Birdie now. And, well, that 10-second is really going to hurt his chances. Is Birdie. Unless Birdie's going to do soft, medium, hard, which would be kind of funny. He's now going to be under pressure from Square Giraffe. He might be able to hold his own on this one because they've got very similar battery levels. And while I was going to say Square Giraffe doesn't have the straight line speed, that DRS is still very powerful. That puts him into P2. Birdie now down to 3rd. And the gap between Square Giraffe and Kobe, which was nearly 5 seconds before the pit stops, is 1.2. And it's going to get even closer because he's got DRS again. So now it's a downright pace game between the Williams and the McLaren. Dello still not out of this for a podium, to be fair to him. He's fighting the 2 Alpines. And, well, you'd assume Birdie was going to get this, but that speeding pen is really going to affect him. Under a second now between Square Giraffe and Kobe. Scott giving it absolutely everything. Every possible chance he can do. Back up to a second now. That's Nathan getting past his ghosted teammate. Sliding around, holding his ghosted teammate up. Bluey a bit on his own. There's the detection point. Square Giraffe is going to get it. Usually you think there's the detection point. I swear it was. I swear that was the detection point on the last game. But it's even earlier now. Anyway, Birdie's in the pits. Square Giraffe using his DRS. And it's going to be a long 10-second stop for the Alpine. The guy is waiting to change the tyres. And 10 seconds is up now. So, soft, hard. Wait, no. Oh, yeah, I was right, yeah. Soft, medium, hard. That puts Birdie even behind Matt. But Birdie will be going to the end, I think. That's a long stint on hards, but to be, yeah. Who knows? Maybe he can still muster a fourth, maybe. I mean, that 10-second gap he's going to have to do a lot with. Anyway, as for the top two, they're getting ever closer. Kobe's got the straight line speed, but Square Giraffe is good in the corners. And Kobe's under pressure now. After being held up a few laps with the Alpines, it's now meant the fight for the win is on. Kobe, who knows both titles are on the line. One is definitely going to be wrapped up today, you'd assume, with the constructors of Williams. But for the drivers, trailing Adam by 29 points, he knows he needs to win today to get it down to 4 with 2 races to go. And if he loses to Square Giraffe, it'll go down to 11 with 2 races to go. Either way, we have a fantastic fight on for the final couple races to decide this World Championship in EXFL Tier 2. And Kobe knows this could be a very important race in his title bid. These 7 points could mean a lot. Because let's say next week we go into Abu Dhabi, as that's Birdie getting past Matt. Pretty easy move. Yeah, we go into Abu Dhabi next week, and Kobe and Adam finish 2nd and 3rd or whatnot. Kobe beats Adam. It goes down to 1 point with 1 race to go or something like that. Then, yeah, those 7 points have really made a difference. Yannick back in front of Nathan, who's in the pit lane now. And as long as Kobe can keep this kind of gap, I'd say even with battery and DRS, which Square Giraffe will clearly have, with the battery Kobe has and the straight line speed, we'll see. So it's 7/10 at the moment. And they're both blasting. Well, Giraffe is. And now Kobe realises it because he's gaining quite a lot. And here goes Square Giraffe's first attempt all race to retake the lead that he lost on lap 1. And Kobe will stay ahead for now. We've been waiting quite a while to see these two fight on track for the win. It was all Kobe up until Square Giraffe joined. And then he was getting some really interesting results. So the first opportunity where they both entered a race, I think it was Singapore, they both got beaten by Adam. And Square Giraffe just started to have a few unfortunate results. But now we're finally seeing it, the word come true. The fans celebrating in the background. Square Giraffe, who started on pole, lost the lead in the first 100 metres to Kobe, dropped down to 4th after the first lap, made his way past Birdie, made his way past Dello, and has made his way up to the leader. Had 1 chance this lap, but he's still got another 17 more. And yeah, Kobe's going to have to push. And he's going to have to fight for this one. They both pitted on the exact same lap, so could this race not be one on track? Could it be one in the pit stops? Who's going to pit first to go onto the mediums to go to the end of the race? Will the undercut for Square Giraffe work out? Will Kobe blink first? Square Giraffe, who is a little further behind this lap, and Kobe understands the assignment to blast more this time. But you can see Square Giraffe still gaining. 7/10 went down to just under 3. So, that straight line speed deficit he's lacking at the moment doesn't really look too much of a deficit. Because now he's blasting the battery and he's got the DRS. Kobe will have to go left for defence again. But he's not quite close enough for any sort of send. It's still quite early in the race. And he knows he doesn't need to do anything too drastic. They're coming up to lap Bluey. Whether that will give Kobe DRS if he catches him at the right point. Heading through the detection. And I think Kobe will actually get DRS. Yes, he will. So that'll help him a little bit. As for warnings, none of the top 5 have even got a penalty, so I'm not even going to check. Let it be a surprise if any of them do. Gap getting slightly bigger there because Kobe got a bit of helping hand. The battery getting ever closer to similar levels. Speaking of levels, Delo's fuel light is gone, so it looks like he's saved enough. So exiting the final corner, 6/10 now. Looks a bit closer this time round. It's like I said in Texas, if you're half a second beginning the straight, you will get them. But considering this straight is a lot longer than the Texas one, it looks like Square Giraffe might get Kobe. He's giving it absolutely everything. He goes to the right. Kobe, this time round, can't defend as hard. And Square Giraffe takes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. Now, can Kobe come back at him on the power with the straight line speed? No, because he doesn't have the DRS that Square Giraffe possesses. And Kobe now sits in P2. So Square Giraffe this time round got the place. And now for Kobe's sake, he has to stick with him because it looks like at this stage of the race, Square Giraffe is quicker. And through these technical corners, that's going to be down to Kobe to see if he can stick with. You can see the McLaren pulling further and further away at the moment. 6/10, 7/10. All the while, Kobe struggles. So at this rate, does it come into the mind of Kobe to think the undercut is what I need now to win this race? As he goes wide, does the Williams, struggling, going very deep. There's the detection zone. It's over a second. I think he just missed out by 35 thousandths, did Kobe there. We'll find out. Has the game been kind to him? It has. So that may have just saved Kobe's skin a little. Look at that. Square Giraffe out of battery. Kobe with plenty to use. And that straight line speed retakes the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. He was a second behind heading through the final corner. Wow. Square Giraffe, I mean, you could clearly see he was giving it absolutely everything in that lap to pull 1 second on the Williams. And it's great to see these two giving it everything as we are approaching 2/3 distance. Lap 22 then, Delo 12 seconds behind the top two. Finn 11 seconds behind Delo, and Birdie has been pushing to try and close that gap to Finn. He's gapped Matt by 10 seconds, who's 10 seconds ahead of Grush, who's in the pit lane, so that'll increase to about half a minute. Half a minute further back is Yannick, who hasn't even done any of this race, so he'll get disqualified. So that'll allow Bluey and Nathan to have a little fight for a net P8, which is good points for them. Kobe's in then. He decides to pit first. Slows down to not speed, so Square Giraffe takes the lead. So, medium, hard, medium. Kobe making sure he is not the one who gets undercut by Square Giraffe. But now he has to make sure his outlap is good. And it's actually going to be another set of the hard compound tyres instead of the mediums, which is fair, actually. Delo goes ahead of Kobe, and you'd assume Finn will be close with him, but looks like Kobe's got that covered. So Kobe exits in P3 on his own. Delo coming up to lap Bluey and Nathan. And what does Square Giraffe do then? So it was the harder compound, the harder allocation that Kobe chose. We'll see what Square Giraffe does then. Ah, Yannick. He's joined. He might actually be able to do the rest of this race then. As a Delo laps Bluey and Nathan. And did that catch Square Giraffe slightly napping with Kobe pitting? Maybe he thought if he follows him in, he might not be able to win this one. Maybe he'll go one lap more. Maybe he'll think Kobe's struggling slightly on the outlap. But by this part, he should be fine. So Square Giraffe now decides it's a good time to pit. Yannick's now in his car, which is good. We have a yellow. That is Finn, who's gone off. The Alpine. So that allows Birdie up into fourth. Has Finn got damage? No. He must have had a spin, though. Those mediums must be quite wearing. Delo's in as well. So that'll be interesting to see. Anyway, Square Giraffe on the hard compound tyres. Where is Kobe? There he is, passing the McLaren. So Square Giraffe exits not too far behind the Williams, to be fair. but he'll have a 1 lap fresher deficit. They're both on the hard, so medium, hard, hard for the top two. Bluey with his 4th penalty. And, well, Kobe's got his tyres up to temperature. Square Giraffe is going to have to push a little. Finn into the pit lane then for another set of mediums. So he's gone the opposite, hard, medium, medium. Birdie currently sitting in 3rd. Trying to go to the end, trying to hang on to this podium. But Dello now will be quite quick and on trying to gain on Birdie for P3. A third of the race to go. And Square Giraffe now outside of a 2nd behind Kobe, who's probably going to get DRS from the lapped cars ahead of him. Not quite with Bluey, maybe with Nathan. It's going to be a bit of an eyesore for Bluey, for Kobe there, lapping Bluey. Relapping him, I guess. There's the 2nd. It's just gone under a 2nd as they pass the detection point, but it doesn't even matter because there's a Aston right in front of the McLaren, which is going to help Square Giraffe. Kobe doesn't get DRS. Well, Square Giraffe does. And he's still blasting, but Kobe's pulling away. That's crazy. So, I mean, they both... Oh, Finn now gets a time penalty. They both barely had any battery to blast. So that was simply just straight line speed. 1v1. But adding DRS onto Square Giraffe, and Kobe still pulled away. Mad. So yeah, Finn, his race has unfortunately taken a bit of a toll for the worse with that spin. Now he's got to try and gain up to Matt to hang on to 5th. So, Dello, who was 9.1, now down to 8.2. So these two will be fighting at the end maybe for P3. Dello, he wants that first podium in EXFL Tier 2, and he sees it down the road in the distance. So now he's got to push for it. Birdie, who wants another podium. This would be a great result still, nonetheless. Considering he had a 10-second time penalty. If he didn't serve that 10-second time penalty, he'd be right with these guys. And it would have been very interesting to see. But unfortunately, that mistake of speeding in his first stop has cost him. And now, Kobe, with 10 laps to go, has put his foot down. Look at that, 1.5. 1.5 and a half, 1.6, 1.6 and a half, 1.7, 7.5, 1.8. That is some insane straight line speed deficit now. But Square Giraffe in the second half of a stint so far this race has looked a bit more quicker than Kobe. It's always in the first stint that Kobe looks like he's got the pace, so we'll see later on if Square Giraffe closes that gap back down. 7.6 now. Dello definitely taking a lot of time out of Birdie, who I said has to go a long part of this race on those hard compound tyres. Was it 19, 17, 19 laps? Well, Dello's tyres are not too old. Yeah, 7 lap difference. He's definitely going to feel that. Matt still might have to pit, I think. So Finn might be okay to get 5th here. See, 1.8 has gone back down to 1.2. You can see Square Giraffe really giving it his all. But now it's just going to increase again. He's blasting his battery. Kobe's blasting his battery. Very level between the pair. $10 to go then. 1.2 goes up to practically the same as it was last lap. 1.8. As we see in the background, that's the two RBs swapping. Yannick, who's back in his car now, up into 8th. Ahead of Nathan. Bit of a lonely race for Grush. As Matt goes into the pit lane. And yeah, that was way too quick. Should still be good enough to hold on to 6th. Even with 13 seconds of pens. It'll be close with Grush. But yeah, the gap's now up to 2 seconds. So Kobe's gained a few tenths in that first sector as well. But this is where Square Giraffe does typically take about half a second out of the Williams. 1.9, 1.8, 1.7. He's giving it everything, but Kobe is pushing. And it looks like he's in control now. Gap's actually gone a bit higher between Birdie and Dello there. I don't know if Dello just made a mistake or whatnot. Matt has come out 4.3 ahead of Grush. It's getting a bit dark, actually, the skies. Shouldn't be any rain about in the last 10 laps, but who knows. So now Matt has a job to do of pulling, 9 seconds on Grush? Top 2 staying how they are at the moment. Wow, Birdie went for a big push lap on that one. Was lapping in the 1 minute 20s, then suddenly lapped in the 1 minute 18s. I don't know if DRS helped him or anything, but yeah, that really gave him a stabilising chance against Dello. Dello needs practically a second a lap now. And unfortunately, it might just come short now, unless Birdie gets a penalty or whatnot. Square Giraffe 1.4. Kobe was in this similar position last week where he was leading ahead of Adam, and he was going to be set to win, and he did win on track in Texas, but the 3-second time penalty is what undid his race. This week, he's going to have to make sure he stays within the confines. So yeah, let's have a little look. Clean as you like. No warnings whatsoever from Kobe this time around. Let's have a look at Square Giraffe. Interesting. Finn now gets a second time penalty. That won't really change too much of his race. So, Square Giraffe has 2 warnings, which he got both of them on the same lap. There's always a bit of an asterisk and a question mark risen about those kind of things. Whether it was a double warning or he generally just went off twice. Either way, he's going to have to watch it now. I mean, if he wants to win, he's got to push, but still got to be a bit mindful. Looks a little closer this time around, though, as he's obviously burning all his battery to try and get closer to Kobe. So is Kobe as well, to be fair, doing the same. No one has any fuel light issues, so they carry on. 1.4 goes to 1.3. It stays there, and it'll probably increase now. Kobe begins lap 30. He's been doing everything right since the lights went out. And, well, these two have not really put a foot wrong today. In terms of, they haven't really done any questionable overtaking manoeuvres or defence or whatnot. They've just been really quick. It's the McLaren chasing down the Williams. Trying to get another win in his rookie season. That Williams trying to go for glory. He knows there's a championship on the line. He knows practically no matter what, he's going to win one today for his team that have been a star this season, I have to say. Williams started off the season with Samurai winning the opening round, getting a bunch of consistent points and podiums. Kobe came and got poles and the wins, and they had a little bit of a fight with Mercedes, but Mercedes started to fall apart slightly with Eggy and Chubster. Chubster unfortunately leaving the league. Eggy, who has been missing a few races now. So that's allowed Williams to pull away. I mean, they had the gap anyway, to be fair. And it looks like they were set to win it, but they are certainly set to win it here in Mexico for the constructors. As for the drivers, at the moment, we are going to go into the last 2 races. 4 points between Adam and Kobe. And it is going to be a spectacle like we haven't seen for quite a few seasons now. Was it Season 2, Season 4, Season 5, Season 6, all went into the final race with 2 drivers fighting for a title. And while last season also did do that, it was 24 points with 25 points left on offer. It didn't really count. And while we had at one point 5 drivers fight for the title, one by one they started to loosen their grip on that trophy until it came down to 2 drivers. And I'm very glad it's these 2 fighting. They deserve it the most. They've been the most successful of the 5. They've achieved the most, so it's only right that these 2 set their stage for the final 2 races of the season. And we have just over 5 laps to go before Kobe, who just has to keep doing what he's doing, will arrive on that stage knowing what he has to do in Abu Dhabi and Brazil. Technically, obviously, when we head to the penultimate round, if the championship isn't wrapped up, that is technically the first opportunity for whoever's leading to win it with 1 race to go. But at this rate, Adam would have to win and Kobe would have to finish, 8th, 9th, for Adam to be champion next week. Doesn't really seem too plausible. Anyway, look back to Dello. 7.4, whatever it was, now down to 3.9. So as long as Birdie just stays within the confines, he should be just hanging on to that podium. Of course, Dello might get looked at after the race for his defence on Square Giraffe, Bluey, with a little bit of a spin. We've had a few yellows here and there, but no virtual safety cars or safety cars. Kobe doing exactly what he needs, just keeping the pace with Square Giraffe. These two have been very close all race now, since the first round of stops. Look at that, those fastest laps, jeez. Dello's lost a bit of time on this lap. 2 birdie, Bluey gets a 5th penalty of the race. 4 to go then. And as soon as Kobe completes this lap, we won't have any chances of safety cars as Bluey retires. So, yeah, that will leave the top 9 with points. RB will both be getting points. Garouche in P7. At the moment, he's still looking to get P6. Matt trying to do his best to get 13 seconds over the Red Bull. Finn, bit of a disappointing race today. Just an odd mistake here and there. The strategy didn't exactly go his way. Dello, 3 seconds now to Birdie. So any penalty for Birdie, and that will give Dello his first podium in EXFL Tier 2. Can Dello catch him by the end? Square Giraffe gap's gone up to 2 seconds, but it'll go back down in the middle. Clouds getting a bit darker now. You can barely see the blue sky. He makes his way into the stadium for the 4th last time. Just double checking something. Yeah. So, Kobe will cross the line now, and there are no chances of VSCs or safety cars. It's all in his hands now, but it's been in his hands the whole race, and he's doing a tremendous job to hold off Square Giraffe. Birdie, 3-second time penalty. Oh, and as that just lit Dello's eyes alive, who's actually lost a bit of time. No, Dello's now got a 3-second time penalty. Oh, and he just needed half a second more, and he was within chance of his first Tier 2 podium, but now he's, right after Birdie, gotten a 3-second time penalty himself. And unless either of those warnings can get removed, which I really don't think they will, from what I've seen, oh, that's just classic league racing for you. Wow. I mean, fair on Garouche, Yannick and Nathan for not getting anything, and obviously fair on these two for not getting anything, especially Square Giraffe. He's been on 2 warnings since lap 3. Even if they're both fair, even if they're both unfair, either way, they've both technically, since lap 3, not got a single warning, which is great from them. So, in Tier 2, Season 11, as we have 2 laps to go of the Mexican Grand Prix of round 18 of 20, we'll have 2. Oh my god, as soon as I say that. Square Giraffe now gets a 3-second time penalty, but I think that won't really change too much anyway. Penultimate lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. Two laps to go, and after today, 2 races to go. 2 constructors on the line, and 1 will be decided here today, and 1, the big one, will be decided probably in 2 weeks' time. I cannot see it ending after next week. Nathan now gets his first time penalty. So, McLaren of Square Giraffe in P2, but McLaren, who have won 3 Constructors' Championships in the 10 seasons we've had of Tier 2. They are the most successful team of winning. Behind is Ferrari of 2 titles to their name as well. And then we have 5 different teams being the one-time wonders of Constructors Champions. Haas in Season 1, Mercedes in Season 3, Aston in Season 4, Red Bull in Season 6, Alpine in Season 9, and now in Season 11, Williams are going to add their name to that list, making it, 8 different constructors in the 11 seasons to have won a Constructors title, leaving just, RB and, I don't know. Can't even think now. Haas, Alfa Romeo, Sauber. Yeah, RB and Sauber. So who knows? Maybe next season. But we're on the last lap of the Mexican Grand Prix. The questions have been answered, and the stage will be set for the final 2 races. We have a fight in Abu Dhabi and Brazil, but it's a bit of a swap this time around. So many seasons we've gone to Brazil, then the finale of Abu Dhabi. This season, we're switching it back. We're switching it old school, and Kobe just has 2 sectors left before he can claim another win. There's Dello on birdie on the final lap of the race. I did not even see him closing in. But Dello on the last lap of the Mexican Grand Prix wants his first podium in EXFL Tier 2. And Birdie's tyres look like they've really fallen off now. And it looks like he could do nothing to defend. And Dello might get his first podium. Depends at this corner if the thing with Square Giraffe will be looked into. Kobe is making his way into the stadium for the final time this race. The fireworks light up for the Williams, and Williams are going to be Tier 2 Season 11 Constructors Champions for the first time in EXFL Tier 2. Kobe wins the Mexican Grand Prix. Square Giraffe finishes in P2 behind him, and Dello, with 1 sector to go, trying to hang on to the podium. Birdie trying to do anything he can to get back in front. But at the moment, they're level on penalties. But it's going to be Dello with a last lap overtake, claiming his first podium in EXFL Tier 2. Dello is P3 ahead of Birdie. And half a minute behind, a long way, will be the other Alpine of Finn. Williams have done it. Tier 2 Constructors Champions in Season 11. Samurai and Kobe. They've both had great performances this season, and they both deserve this. Samurai, who I think will be back next week, if he is watching and listening, you've been a tremendous part of that team to lift the trophy for the Constructors. And Kobe finishing it in style. RB 8th and 9th. Grush will be 7th. That was close with Finn and Matt. It looks like Grush will get P6 as it seems. But yeah, as for the drivers, 29 goes down to 4. And I'm sure Adam will be watching, annoyed that his main rival has just got a clean sweep of 25 points over him. But, it's been here and there all season. He's missed out. Kobe's won. Kobe's missed out. Adam has won. And Kobe needed that. 40 points, whatever it was, after Kobe himself missed 2 races not too long ago. And now Kobe has gotten one back. 4 points then, with 2 races to go between Adam and Kobe. Hang about, was there just someone who just got a whole page of things to themselves? Cookster. He must have got 5 warnings in one there. That's a real shame. Right, well, I actually don't know if I can interview Dello, because he's not on a thingy. But I can definitely interview the top 2. Kobe. Square Giraffe. Hope you all enjoyed that race. I'm sure Abu Dhabi and Brazil are also going to be blockbusters. You will not want to miss that. We have at least the top two joining the party now. Again, don't know about Dello. I'll quickly message him. There we go. We have Kobe and Scott now in the party. I'm just going to quickly message Dello. Right, I'll see if he replies. Right, we have the top two in the party now. Kobe, are you there, mate? Hello. Scott, are you there, mate? Hello. Right, there we go. Right, we'll start off with our winner. Kobe, are you able to include your audio?
Yeah.
All right, Kobe, you have just won the Tier 2 Season 11 Mexican Grand Prix, and Williams are Constructors' Champions for this season. It all went right this time round, in the race at least, and that's exactly what you needed to do, and I'm sure that's a bit of relief off your shoulders.
Yeah.
With 2 races to go. Right, just take us through qualifying and the race from your end then. How was it?
I thought qualifying couldn't really get the pace I had. I think I was just struggling really to get time out of the middle sector because of my downforce. But at least I got P2. It was all right quality, and then in the race it was quite smooth sailing, especially battling against Square Giraffe on like pits and things like that. It was a good battle between me and him, which I enjoyed.
Yeah, it was a great battle. So I got this. I think I got this right that you were running quite low wings compared to him. So you had the straight line speed on him, and he was running higher wings, which allowed him to be very quick in the middle and last sector.
Yeah.
Because I noticed you were like 4 tenths ahead of him after every sector one in quali. But overall, it looked like he just got the lap together more, maybe the package more for his pole position. But after the first 100 meters, that was completely the opposite case. After he dropped down to fourth and you led away, it was a pretty easy first stint for you, nearly 5 seconds ahead of him. And then after the second round of stops, I think you got a bit of deja vu then, catching Birdie. But this time he didn't play as hard to get, and you managed to overtake him, which was good to see. That did cost you a little bit of time, as Scott did close up to you, and then was it all about just making sure you weren't undercut, making sure you pit first before him?
Originally I did wanted to pit quite early, just to give me a bit comfort so I could push a bit more on the laps. But I didn't think he was going to go the extra lap, to be fair. I thought he was going to follow me in the pits originally, and then I saw him go past.
That's fair, considering both you pitted on the same lap in the first round of stops.
Yeah.
So yeah, he went 1 lap longer. And he came out not too far behind you, to be fair. It was looming around the 1 second. He had a few looks, and then it looked like you had the pace to just hold him there, heading into the flag. It was pretty even by then.
Yeah.
And I looked at one point, I think it was like 6 laps to go. I didn't look after like lap 30, but did you do that whole race without getting a warning?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you learned from last week, and that's amazing to see. Yeah, I kind of had a feeling this was going to happen after last week. I was like, okay, after all Kobe did last week, he's winning Mexico 100%. Oh, he's got to, really.
Yeah.
And you've done just that, so well done.
Thank you.
So is that, what, a 6th win of the season? I think. I'll have to relook at that. But either way, yeah, that is P1 at Mexico, and that brings your total from 29 down to just 4 points with 2 races to go. You have never even led the standings, let alone been this close to the top. You were 8 points behind before you yourself missed 2 races. So now that gap has halved. So what happens in Abu Dhabi? Do you go into the finale leading, just trailing? We will find out. But another final question. You and Samurai are constructors champions with Williams this season. Do you maybe want to give a little special word to Samurai and your team of your performance this season?
Yeah, I just want to say to Samurai, like he's a good teammate. He's staying in tier two next season.
I don't know at the moment.
Well, if he is or if he's in tier one, whoever's his teammate next season, he's a very lucky guy because he's very supportive. So yeah, he's quite the nice guy.
Yep, showing nice guys don't finish last because they've both taken first with the blue team, and with 50 points left, it's actually kind of funny. I'm pretty sure. I'll just double check. 50 points left. Eggy. Yeah. Okay, so with 50 points left, Eggy is now 51 behind Adam. So Eggy is now eliminated from the championship, which is very unfortunate. But the funny thing is, Samurai is still technically in the fight. He's 48 points behind Adam with 50 to go. So I'm pretty sure after Abu Dhabi, it will literally just be you and Adam
Is he
left.
back in Abu Dhabi?
It's pretty. I'm pretty sure he said he'll miss 3 races, and I'm pretty sure today was the third one.
Oh, okay.
He missed today, he missed Vegas, he missed Texas. So yeah, he should be back. Warren obviously didn't race today, so that might made things a little easier as well. No VSCs or safety cars or anything. But yeah, Williams, the 8th different team of the 10 to win a Constructors' Championship in EXFL Tier 2. Obviously Ferrari with 2 and McLaren with 3. Speaking of McLaren, on to P2 today. Scott, are you there, mate?
Yeah.
Hello. So, bit of an eventful race for you. I think overall you enjoyed it. Am I right?
It was pretty good. I think
So, pole. Yeah, carry
I
on.
think Kobe had the race setup and had the qualifying setup, to be
Yeah,
honest.
that's pretty much what I was going to say. I was going to say qualifying, it looked like your package just seemed a bit better. You managed to be the only one to dip into the sub 75 second lap time with a 14.9. Very nice lap from you. It's not since Netherlands we've really seen you up there. Considering the dominance you showed in that race, I was saying it seems like races with 36 laps in you do well. Netherlands today. That means in Brazil you'll do well as well.
Yeah, it's not
Um,
been great since I won the race. Uh,
So the start, was it just simply down to your straight line speed, or did you just maybe have a
I
poorer
think I got a
reaction
bad
than
start
those
and I
around
had
you?
bad straight line speed and I had
Uh,
what was it Finn on softs or something. I think he got
a
past. I
birdie
don't want to fight
consolation.
him.
That's fair. So you dropped to 4th, and then you got past birdie, which was fine. And then you had a little bit of a tussle with Dello. At one point, I did see him kind of force you off a little,
Yeah, that's
but
fine.
you got past him anyway, so not really any bother on your race.
I was sort of
And
I was
then
sort of
you,
thinking if even if Kobe gets away into the distance with me fighting, there'll be a safety car at some point to like bunch up the field again. But surprisingly,
yeah,
that didn't happen.
no, they're happening a little less frequently now. So it's mainly down to pace and whatnot that you got to rely on. But then you really put in quite a good stint to be at 1.4.5 seconds to be right behind Kobe. Seems like you were in the right place at the right time when the Alpine started to pit and whatnot.
Yeah.
So you didn't lose any time. And then yeah, you had a very nice fight with Kobe. One lap you tried, didn't quite do it. I think the next lap you stayed behind. Then the third lap, you properly got him and then had a little bit of a swat with him, which was great. Not even a single bit of contact, which was great. I'm sure you enjoyed that. And then the final stints, was there any thought to undercut Kobe?
To be honest, I was sort of thinking about doing the one stop, but I've tried doing that in the past and it ends very poorly. So I
Right.
thought I could try just stay out and see if he catches me, but by like the last 5 laps, he'll be like 3 seconds a lap quicker, so it's just not worth it. So I just sort of reacted to what he did.
So when he pitted the second time, because you obviously followed him in the first time, the second time when he pitted, did you think
I wasn't
I'll go
expecting him
one
to
more
pit.
lap? Or
So I
ah,
just
right. So
I just kept going.
if you knew he was going to pit that lap, would you have followed him in?
Probably.
Yeah, right. So you had a 1 lap fresher tyre offset to him, which isn't actually that
Doesn't do
much.
much.
You need to have like 3 laps to 7 laps or whatnot to see an actual difference. So the gap kind of just stayed how it is. You nearly got DRS or whatnot, but then it just kind of stayed. Kept going from 1.2 to 1.8 back to 1.2. pretty
Yeah, no, I
much.
kept gaining like
I
4 tenths in the the high speed
middle,
corners,
yeah.
and then losing like loads of time on the straight. I kept thinking he had more battery, but it's just wings.
No, I just kept looking. You both had the same amount of battery for like pretty much the last 10 laps, identical. You were both giving it
Set up.
absolutely everything, and it shows. Yeah, sort of gained here, lost here. It's all about balance, and yeah. And then I guess unlike Kobe, you had to go 33 laps trying not to get your third warning. What happened on lap 3 for you to get 2?
I think I had like one warning, then I got like a double warning on the last corner.
A double warning. I
I think
see. I see.
I got another warning after that, but it didn't really matter.
Yeah.
Bit of a
Yeah,
surprise.
I was just saying how like top two have done really well not to get any warnings, and then you got a 3
I know,
second.
I was quite pleased I only had one warning that race. I was like, I was gonna be no penalties, but then random
Yeah.
double warning.
I mean, it doesn't really change
Nah.
anything. Let's be real.
That's
So
never
I'm
gonna
sure
catch.
you won't try to get that removed. So anyway, a P2 for McLaren. You're adjusting well now into your new team, so that's great to see. And I'm sure you'll be a big name in the fight into the last 2 races, putting McLaren a bit higher up in the constructors as well. So yeah, one more question for you and Kobe. How are you feeling going into Abu Dhabi next week?
It's not really a track I love. Like, I haven't really raced around it much, so it probably won't be that fast. I'll see if I can practice or not.
Yeah, that's fair. And yeah, Kobe, obviously for you, it means a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, Abu
I
Dhabi.
think I'll give you this answer every single time I'm in here, but I've never done much around there, so it's literally just going into it and practicing as much as I can, see how much pace I can get.
That's fair. I'm pretty sure last Thursday night you were already beginning Mexico practice, so I'm sure in a couple hours, maybe even in a few minutes, you'll be straight on Abu Dhabi time trial. But yeah, each to their own. And I'm sure Adam will be back hungry. Yeah, it's the classic duel as old as time. 2 fighters, 1 winner. And of the 2 championships, one's been settled. That was the easy question. As for the drivers, who knows? 2 races to go then. 4 points in it. Adam versus Kobe. And we head to Abu Dhabi, not for the finale this time round, but I'm sure there still will be fireworks under the night sky. As yeah, we will see you in Yas Marina. Who will lead heading into the last race in Interlagos?